think the spark you got from the bench, especially Dinwiddie?
Yeah, I thought the bench was really good there. I think D-Live was the only one to score in the first half, and then in the second half, pretty much the bench took control of that game for us and gave us a spark, which was great to see from Spence being able to deliver, being able to come in and be the first off the bench. I thought he did good in the first half also, being able to, run the offense. But the guys that gave us that spark was off the bench. It was good. They picked up Luka. Luka didn't have a Luka-type game, but we found a way to win.
Jason, speaking of kind of some of those guys off the bench, there's been different guys that have been the first one off the bench in that guard rotation. What are you looking for guys to earn minutes? Guys like Hardy, Q-Dots.
Yeah, they got to be positive. If you're not positive, you're going to have a seat. It's just the name of the game. Got too many guys. And so that's what we're looking for. If you're positive, you play. Nothing's changed since day one. We had guys here last year who were last signed, weren't in the rotation, and they gave us some positive minutes and found themselves as starters. It's just the nature of the game. We're in the business of winning, not feelings. And so you guys can have your opinion about who should be in the game or who should start, but it's about who's playing well, and that's what we're looking for.
Coach, you said it wasn't a Luka-type game, but what does it say about him when he can still have the numbers he put up, even in a game where he's not maybe at his best?
Yeah, he's human, and you saw that tonight, but I thought he really leaned in on his teammates to, be able to create plays and wide open looks. We're not shooting the ball well right now, and, we're getting wide open looks that just haven't gone down, but we got to continue to keep taking those shots. I thought the rhythm of the game was a lot better for us, even on makes, us being able to play with some pace. We got some easy baskets there. I thought Nazi played well. Marshall really played well for us. I thought, again, him and Q were really good. You can see that they're getting a little bit more comfortable and giving them a little bit more minutes, out there on the floor, but only helped them.
Speaking of easy baskets, PJ had a nice bounce back, and it seemed like some transition baskets really helped get him going.
Yeah, I think one of our strengths, if we can get out and run, we got athletes who can finish, and I thought, PJ is that, guy that can bring it and go coast to coast, but also he can be on the other side of lobs or playmaking. And so I thought his intent of the ball touching the paint was really high tonight, and we're going to need that again here less than 24 hours.
When Luka doesn't have it going, how much is your coaching or game planning changed throughout the game, or does it just kind of stay throughout the flow?
Yeah, it's just a flow game, just understanding that he's not going to be perfect every night. And so being able to, lean on Kai, I thought Clay, again, had some great looks, knocked him down. We even put him in the post to post him up a couple times. So just, again, right now we are trying to get a relationship with everyone. We had some guys out for training camp. So this is kind of like we got to let, some guys run through, and we're going to maybe look at times where we're not defending or we're not scoring, but we got to see how guys respond in different situations, and that's why he played 82 games. But I thought the group rallied around Luka tonight. He didn't have his best, but the other guys stepped up, and again, we're going to need that throughout the season.
How were you guys able to bounce back on the boards after Utah had 7 offensive rebounds in the first quarter?
Yeah, they had 10 at half. We talked about it. They're all going to crash. And so just to understand, we got to get better at rebounding the ball. And that's just something that right now we're not doing well. It matches our shooting. And so hopefully we can get both of those, fixed here going forward.
Coach Kidd, when looking at the minutes that Clay and Luka share the floor together, what have you liked so much about that tandem so far through 3 games?
Clay's getting wide open looks. I thought to start the quarter, Clay gets a wide open 3. And so I think for Luka, he's got to get used to Clay, and Clay has to get used to him. And again, we talked about that before the game, the relationship, it takes time. They're not going to make every shot, but the quality of shot, if we can get those type of shots when you're wide open, we will live with the results. And so as the minutes go up between those two, I can only see that relationship getting better.
Coach, at the beginning of the game, when you try to get somebody going, how much of that is what the defense gives you versus a game plan going into the start of it?
Yeah, it's all on what the defense is going to give you. And right now they're not trapping Luka. They're just ready. And so we gotta get better at the reds. to get someone going, it's sometimes you got to be unselfish. You got to give yourself up to get someone else going. And if you can get other guys going, the game becomes really simple. And so right now, we're not shooting the ball. We're getting quality looks. We're just not knocking them down right now. And it's early, and it happens. But if we get these shots all season, we believe that, we're going to be one of the best offensive teams in the league.
Kid, what have you liked about Lively's offensive kind of prowess now, not just catching lobs, being able to be a lot more comfortable finishing in and around the rim?
Yeah, the league has taken the lob away. The league has taken the lob away from us, and so looking at him being able to offensive rebound and then also being able to have the little jump hook with both the left and right is something that we can go to. And the dump offs have been really good for him, and he's got great hands and his ability to finish. And again, Luka didn't have it going, but he created space for D-Live, and the dump offs were great tonight.
What would you say these teams are doing to take away the lob so far through these 3 games?
It's easy. Stand everybody in the paint and dare us to shoot. As you can see, we're getting wide open looks. As we got to continue to keep knocking those down. They're going to take the lob away, so we have to be able to shoot the ball straight. If we don't, it becomes one of these type of nights where we have to grind it out defensively.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You guys were coming off of a game where the bench, you played well, you had a lot of rebounds. Y'all didn't provide a lot of bench scoring. What was the difference in tonight, especially with you and Spencer?
Getting out and running. Getting out, throwing the ball ahead, and just getting to what we do. We play our best whenever we're in pace. We're putting pressure on the rim, causing the defense to rotate. That's when we play our best basketball. I feel like we did a great job of moving the ball around, finding each other, and just finding the open shot. At times we were a little too unselfish, but, that's a great thing to have. There's some times where we're turning the ball over because we're passing too much. That's a great team to have.
How did you guys bounce back on the boards after they had 7 offensive rebounds in the first quarter?
Being diligent, no matter if it's me getting a board, no matter if it's PJ getting a board, no matter if it's Luka getting a board, all of us got to box out. When one person shoots, the other 4 are crashing. So it's on us individually and as a team just to be able to do our part and make sure we boxing out to come in and rebound.
How tough is this back-to-back against the team that you guys beat to go to the NBA Finals last season?
Really tough. We got to be able to move on to the next day, move on to the next game mentality. There's going to be a lot of things that we can't control, and we know that. But only thing that we're worried about is what we can control.
We just asked Jason about teams taking away the lobs from you guys and kind of how that changes you and Gafford's game. You seem to be adapting well to it. Kind of how has that experience been, not getting as many lobs and having to finish around the rim?
Really just comes down to us playing a different game. There's definitely times where we look in and we see that there's 3-4 people pulled in, making sure we don't get a lob, but that means we're going to be putting the defensive in rotation, swinging a corner, swinging a wing, and just making the ball move. And, if we don't get it on the first pick and roll action, swing, second side drive, we can get a lob then, or we can get a little duck in and find other ways to play. I feel like everyone's watched us play throughout the whole postseason, so that's why everyone's focused on the lob, because we were Lob City last year. So that's one thing that gets us going. So teams are going to focus in on that. And since they're focusing on that, we're going to pick them apart on their weaknesses on the other end.
How comfortable have you felt kind of with those jump hooks and kind of finishing and kind of that mid-range, just close shots?
Man, I've been working on that a lot this summer, and just being more consistent. I missed a couple, right hand and left hand. So it's just getting back into the gym, making sure I'm focusing on my touch and, just keeping it going. No matter how many shots I miss, I got to be confident taking the next one.
Speaking of working on stuff, I noticed in your pregame warm-ups, you always do a couple of overhead dunks. Well, tonight you had an overhead dunk.
Yeah.
How different does it feel like doing it in action like that in the crowd?
It's just electric. You focus on that. You're focusing on practicing your footwork, your steps, and your reach, and just getting the ball in that position. It just makes it go automatic whenever you practice it. To having my teammates stand up, having the fans stand up, it just gets the team going and energy plays.
How have you had to adjust coming off the bench? Obviously, Gafford started a lot at the end of last year and now to start the season. How's it changed your game or approach or anything?
Just knowing that whenever he's out there, he's bringing as much energy as he can. And whenever it's my turn to step on the floor, I do the same thing. It's just that 1-2 tandem punch that we're just going to keep throwing. We're going to keep putting the pressure on the rim. Everyone's going to be looking at us at the rim for dunks and lobs, but we're going to be throwing elbows, pushing people out the way to get rebounds and get extra possessions for our teammates.
You seen an injury like Hendricks before on a court?
I got a flashback to Gordon Hayward. Prayers to him. You know, you never want that to happen to anybody, no matter if it's your worst enemy. So prayers to him and his family for that. Appreciate y'all.
So when you see Luka struggling like that, do you tell yourself you got to step your game up a notch or two?
I mean, basketball is an up and down game. You know, we're in the beginning of the season. We're all trying to get in greater shape. We're all trying to catch our rhythm. Trying to make sure we develop some chemistry with the new guys in here. So I wouldn't call it a struggle. It's just us getting back into the swing of basketball, the rhythm of basketball. But, you know, nights like that happen, whether it be me struggling a little bit or not finding my shot as soon as I would like. We all got to pick each other up. So, I pressed the gas a little bit, but I think it was a culmination of all of us in this locker room just picking up our defensive pressure and making the smarter decision on offense.
What kind of spark did you guys get from Dinwiddie tonight?
He gave us a great spark, man. He had a great game. First one off the bench tonight. So it's great that he sets the tone alongside D Live or other guys that are coming in. But he's an important piece for us this season to be able to show that maturity and be able to settle us when we're not scoring the basketball.
It seems like you're making these decisions throughout any game about what the team needs at any given point. Kind of to the point that Luka didn't quite have it tonight, and you're able to push the gas. Is that kind of what the mental dialogue is going through your head? Just kind of trying to be like, the team needs this or the team needs that, and trying to fill that.
Yeah. It's all just finding the flow of the game and being able to give what the game needs. It just depends night to night. But specifically in the beginning of the season, man, and it's not just our team. You look around the league, it hasn't been the best of possessions for a lot of people. Because guys are getting back into the swing of the game, and then also the whistle is a little bit different too. I feel like they're letting us play a little bit more in the beginning of the season. Before they would make a little bit of an emphasis. You can't screen, push your butt out a little bit on the screens, or you can't hold guys cutting through. But I think they're letting a lot of things go, so we adjust to them. Outside of that, I feel like we're heading in the right direction, but we still got to be better, man. We're nowhere close to our championship habits right now, so we're in that developmental stage, trying not to get too frustrated, but also stay encouraged, stay motivated, get our legs underneath us. And when that happens, I feel like we'll be fine.
And then after the Taylor injury, there was a long break, and right at the end of it, you came running back out. Did you go and check on him?
Yeah, I gave him a hand on the shoulder, but I'm sure he was in shock. So just anytime things like that happen, I've unfortunately been a part of a few of those injuries happening on court. Just praying for him, praying for his family, praying that he'll be back even stronger, man. It does something to the psyche as an athlete when you see something like that, but then you got to keep playing. So, but we definitely feel for him, man. I feel for him. Just praying that he's okay.
Todd, have you noticed how teams are guarding y'all differently, kind of taking away that lob threat, and then also having Clay out there? What have you noticed about from last year to this year, how teams are guarding you guys?
I don't want to say too much here in the media interview, but you guys see it. They're making an emphasis on our bigs not being able to roll freely, and they're closing out really hard on us and also living with something out there. We got shooting on the perimeter. We got guys that can be an interior threat. And we got guys that can play in the mid-range, so they got to live with something. And I feel like teams are putting us in those defensive or offensive positions earlier so we can adjust moving forward. But
how different is it like having a guy like Clay out there on the perimeter where you can find open shots?
Oh, yeah, to answer your second part of your question, it definitely makes things easier. And he's a high-level thinker on that backside. We just got to continue to develop that rhythm so when we're out there, we kind of know when we're going to shoot the ball. Right now, the ball is like finding each other. We're open. But the greater teams in this league, they want to get not just the wide open shots sometimes, they want to get the easy ones, capitalize on the plays where we can get everybody feeling good about the basketball game. But that takes time. We're in that stage right now. I'm doing my best not to get too wordy right now, but it feels good.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, guys.